1960s, social changes, music, and international affairs. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American clergyman, activist, and prominent leader in the African American civil rights movement. He is best known for being an iconic figure in the advancement of civil rights in the United States and around the world, using nonviolent methods following the teachings of
Mahatma Gandhi.
King is often presented as a heroic figure in the history of modern American liberalism. His works and speeches had major impacts in both the U.S. and the world regarding African American rights. Martin Luther King's most famous speech, "I Have a Dream," was the major catalyst for changes in civil rights. Much like Lincoln, he was assassinated due to his support for the black people.
50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation.
I'll open my mouth to the Lord, and I won't turn back. I will go, I shall go, to see what the end's gonna be.
Whoa, who's that yonder dressed in red?
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. Let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Shall go,
I will
go,
I shall
just
go, to see what the end's gonna be.
in the morning,
To see what the end's gonna be.
in the evening,
To see what the end's gonna be.
midnight hour.
To see what the end's gonna be. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Elvis Presley was born on January 8, 1935, and is one of the most popular singers in the 20th century. As a child, Elvis attended an Assembly of God church. It is believed most of his music is influenced by gospel music. He appeared in many commercials and TV shows. He played with legendary musicians such as Chet Atkins and Floyd Kramer. He suffered much controversy over his song Hound Dog, as it was seen as a sex-driven song and has reached its lowest depths in groin and grunt antics. Quote, quote. Elvis was found unconscious on his bathroom floor and was pronounced dead on August 16, 1977. Jimi Hendrix was born November 27, 1942, in Seattle, Washington. He vastly influenced the fashion sense during the 1960s. He started the curled hair and bell-bottom pants trend. His most famous piece was Purple Haze and his cover of Hound Dog by Elvis Presley. On September 18, 1970, Hendrix was found dead on his bedside by his girlfriend, Monica Daney.
The Cuban Missile Crisis was an extremely important event in the 1960s. It occurred during the month of October. The Cuban Missile Crisis was a conflict between the United States of America, the Soviet Union, and Cuba. The Soviet Union had planted nuclear warheads in Cuba capable of reaching the United States. Images of these launch stations were photographed by an American U-2 Air Force plane. The scale of this conflict began to climax at an alarming level, and animosity between the USA and the Soviet Union escalated. Finally, on October 28, 1962, John F. Kennedy, President of the United States, and Nikita Khrushchev reached a consensus so that the Soviet Union would dismantle all the nuclear weapons in Cuba.
I call upon Chairman Khrushchev to halt and eliminate this clandestine, reckless, and provocative threat to world peace and to stable relations between our two nations. I call upon him further to abandon this course of world domination and to join in an historic effort to end the perilous arms race and to transform the history of man. Our goal is not the victory of might, but the vindication of right. Not peace at the expense of freedom, but both peace and freedom here in this hemisphere, and we hope around the world. God willing, that goal will be achieved.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.